So just to remind you how sneaky your government is, since I'm the only person who I know who's actually talking about this because I feel it directly due to the fact that I actually trade in stocks internationally. Trump signs bill that could lead to delisting of Chinese stocks, including NIO, LI, Xpeng, and Alibaba. So basically, as you know, within the last couple of videos I did talking about stock, I talked about the fact that the Holding Foreign Countries Accountable Act was slowly being snuck in and passed under our noses while the mass media is busy talking about one of three things. They're either talking about Trump moaning and whining and pissing and crying about the fact that he lost the election and he's, still busy, screaming at people, calling himself the winner and blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. So that's one thing they're busy talking about. The other thing they're busy talking about is the vaccine. And that's not looking that great because it's like every single time I turn on my Instagram, I see some video of somebody having like a negative reaction to the vaccine or something just bad generally happening. So I don't think that's looking very good. There was a woman who had a allergic reaction. But if it's not them talking about the vaccine, if it's not them talking about Trump pissing and moaning and crying about losing, it's this Russian cyber attack that happened. And meanwhile, very, very quietly, this gets passed right under your nose. So anyway, I'll go through the basics of it. U.S. President Donald Trump has signed a bill calling for the delisting of foreign companies that don't adhere to the same accounting transparency standards that security regulators impose on public U.S. firms. The Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act takes aim at Chinese companies, specifically Chinese companies, because this was all part of Donald Trump's trade war, and drew and I said this before in another video, whenever the Democrats and the Republicans suddenly agree on something, that's when you should worry. Drew rare, strong bipartisan support in the U.S. Congress before arriving on Trump's desk. Have you heard Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez say anything about this? Have you heard Mitch McConnell say anything about this? Have you heard Nancy Pelosi say anything about this? Have you heard Trump himself say anything about this? Have you heard Pence say? Of course not, because they quietly passed this right under your nose. And I swear, I've been listening to the news. I've been listening to Patriot XM. I've been listening to Urban View XM. I haven't heard a single other one of them mention this. And I've mentioned it at least 4 times in my little Market Watch videos that barely anybody watches. And I don't mind poking fun of myself saying barely anybody watches it, because while I'm sitting back making the money, I got other people wondering how I'm doing it. And I'm fucking telling them how I'm doing it, but nobody's listening. So that's fine, whatever. China's government does not allow the board to perform audit inspections of Chinese companies listed in the U.S. Audit inspections are performed on the other U.S.-listed companies by the Public Company Accounting Oversight Board. I'll just skip the rest of that. Chinese companies listed in the U.S. have been embroiled in financial scandals in the past, including Luckin Coffee, which led to a NASDAQ delisting. 16 Chinese companies have delisted since February 2019, according to a government report in October. Carson Block, who has made himself a short-selling star through his investigations into Chinese companies, has called for the delisting of Chinese firms, saying to Bloomberg last month, "This is China and the Chinese stock promotion manipulation fraud machine laughing in the face of the SEC." What's next? Markets now await any news on specific delistings. The bill could affect 217 Chinese companies, including popular stocks such as Alibaba Group, JD.com, NIO, Xpeng, Li Auto. So basically what they're saying is that buying frenzy that Tesla helped drive, where Americans were buying into Chinese electric automobiles, knowing that the market is huge for Chinese electric automobiles. What they're basically saying there is there's a very good possibility, and I already mentioned this, but there's a very good possibility that a call could be made to say we're going to delist NIO, Xpeng, Li, and whatever. So basically, as you remember, because I've been posting a simple watch portfolio for you to watch. As you remember, I was telling you to get into NIO, and I was telling you to get into Xpeng, and I was also telling you to get into Li Autos, and I also told you to get into KNDI, which, interestingly enough, KNDI was not mentioned here. I guess they were more interested in NIO than KNDI. They weren't talking about candy. So, basically, as you can see, the sponsor was Senator Kennedy, John Kennedy, Committee, Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, and nobody, see, it's funny, we actually got a goddamn website that tells you exactly what's happening as it's happening, but nobody's paying attention to it because they're busy either afraid of the coronavirus vaccine or they're busy listening to Trump whining about how he's a loser. So it was introduced, passed the Senate, passed the House, to the president, he signed it, it became law. So basically, it's like in the dead of night, on a Saturday when nobody's paying attention to any of this shit. Look at this, introduced to the Senate. It was introduced back in March 28th, 2019. So this has been there for a long time. So basically it was introduced at the end of March, and it just finished passing and becoming law today, 12/19. So that's basically that. I mean, they snuck it right through. They rammed it right through. So I had you purchasing stock in that. And as you can see, KNDI and NIO put me above $12,000. Now, mind you, I started this account with $5,000. Those two stocks alone, I thought I was easily going to 13, and then Trump starts his stupid trade war bullshit. And by the way, there are certain people who are on my channel who every time I bring up, first of all, every time I criticize Trump, they got something to say. I'll tell you right now, I don't give a goddamn what you think. Second of all, when I criticize American free trade restrictions and socialism in the form of restricting free trade, especially in terms of dealing business with China, there's always somebody who's got something to say. Well, I'll tell you right now, I make my money the way I make my money, and I rely on rules and laws that I don't expect to change very quickly to make my money. So when somebody like Trump interferes with my wallet, I don't give a goddamn how much money you think you have. I don't care how powerful you think you are. It's time to go. You mess with my wallet, you lose your presidency. And I hope the Secret Service brings this video to Trump and says, you know what, there's some black guy talking shit about you in New York. Yeah, that's right, I said it. You mess with my money, you lose your presidency. You don't have to worry about George Soros. You worry about me. So basically, he's on his way out. He messed with my money, and now he's gone. And all of Trump's horses and all of Trump's men can't make America great again. But all he had to do was leave these people alone, and he'd probably still be president. But no, he decided that he wanted to have a trade war, one that he couldn't survive. So you said basically it was suicide. You committed suicide by starting a trade war, stupid. So anyway, these were the Chinese stocks. And now, even though if you had listened to me and you bought into them, even though you probably made money off of these things if you bought them when I told you to, thanks to this nonsense that Trump has started, now I have to basically backpedal on everything that I was saying and say now you should be ready that you may have to sell out of them. So if I were to sell out of these, now, but these were the ones, Air YY, I believe that was China Eastern Airlines. I've flown on them before because I used to live in Shanghai, so, you know, they're actually a good airline. ZNH, China Southern, China Southern Airlines Limited, China Life Insurance, NIO, which, you know, we already know the story on that. KNDI, we know the story on that. XPEV, and Li. So if I were to sell out of these things tonight, like if I were to hit the sell order right now, let's see, positions. If I were to hit the sell order, and this is, again, this is just one of my accounts, so that means I'd have to log out, go to my other account, and I'd have to sell out my positions there too. I'm still up. Like, for instance, this is NIO, so I could show you the market value of these things. The market value of my KNDI is still up. I bought in this portfolio 200 shares, cost 6.87, price 8.11. I am up $248. That's my gain. If I were to go in here tonight onto this portfolio and sell out tonight, I would lose out of this portfolio. Well, not lose. I'd gain $248, but the market value for that much of that stock is only worth $16.22. As for NIO, what is this? In this portfolio, there's only 12 shares. I have to say, Tesla really, really did outperform everything else. I sold out of Tesla when it was $1,005, but I bought into it when it was $30. Tesla basically outperformed everything else in my portfolio. So when I was telling you to buy back in during the split, I really hope you did, because I think by now you've probably quadrupled your money, whatever you put in. But NIO, I only have 12 shares of that. $44.36 is where I bought in. It is now $46.72. And if I sell out right now, I'd make $28.32. The market value being $560. Now, keep in mind, a couple of weeks ago, before China trades were attacked by Trump, NIO went up to $57.20. So that means that this same 12 times 57, I had $684, and now even though I'm up $28, I had $684, and I've lost that to Trump's stupid trade war. But guess what, Trump? You lost the presidency. So you mess with I took your presidency from you for $500. Good for you. You and your stupid trade war. You could have just let sleeping dogs lie, but you had to go out and try to fight people. You committed suicide, stupid. Not only did you lose your presidency, but now you're an impeached president. So of all the presidents we've ever had, 3 of them have been impeached, and now you're one of them. All you had to do was leave the trade system alone and let free market capitalism reign. But you couldn't handle that, could you? So guess what? When you need help packing your shit into your U-Haul, please call me. I will make myself available for you between the hours of 9 to 5. So basically, as far as my other Chinese stocks, I pretty much already sold those, but I really didn't have many of those in this portfolio anyway. So that's that. I mean, I'm still up on candy, but God knows what's going to happen Monday now that this bullshit is law. Now, here's the thing, though. It could delist those companies. Now, if China turns around and says, you know what, we'll just let you inspect this and this, that, and the other, well, it's possible that KNDI and NIO will not get delisted. The problem is, if they don't, then they get delisted. So if I were to sell out of both of these positions right now, if I go right now and I say, yeah, sell 200 shares of candy, right? If I were to sell out of these positions right now, that would be 106, 122 plus, what's the other one? $560. I make $2,182. So I'll just round down. I'll say, yeah, okay, if I sell out right now tonight, I'll make about $2,000. Man, that pisses me off. That really pisses me off. But, and by the way, candy also hit a high of $17. So let's see. Candy, I had 200 shares here times, what, $17. So that was $3,400. $3,400, right? And then, like, if you add the 680 from NIO, that would have been $4,000. And now, if I cash out right now, I'd be getting half of that. Yeah, so I'm not very happy about that. Fortunately, however, what I can say is all of the other picks that I've pretty much made, I'll say the exception of the airlines, but I'm not really going to say the exception of the airlines, because if you can take I don't delete any of my videos. If you look at my videos, pretty much every analysis that I made has pretty much been spot on, with the exception of Warren Buffett and Donald Trump making moves that I couldn't possibly anticipate. But airlines JetBlue, I told you to buy JetBlue when it was $9. JetBlue is $14.35. You have gone up. It's just that you didn't go up as much as you possibly could have, but Warren Buffett started that war. I told you to buy American Airlines when it was less than $10. American Airlines is $16 right now. I told you to buy Delta when it was below $20. Delta is now $40. So I would like to think that I've doubled your money in airline stocks. As you know, coronavirus is still affecting us. Pretty much most of these things, if they did have dividends, they've delisted them. Like Air YY, Jets, and CEA, those are the ones right there that you see that actually have dividends. But their dividends are very small. This is one of the reasons why I had to backpedal after Warren Buffett came out with his thing. And I had to tell you to go into Tesla and Apple when they did this split. So right now, Tesla is at its all-time high, basically, of $695. And that's post-split. So that means if you bought when I told you to, you got 5 shares. For the 1 share that you did buy, you got 5 shares. So that 1 share probably cost you $400 or $500, somewhere around it. And you were able to get 5 shares out of that 1 share. And now your share value is $695. That may have placed different people different places, so I really don't know. I told you to buy Logitech, AMD. Fortunately, these companies are more Taiwanese than they are Chinese. Now, as far as this accountability bullshit, I don't think that these companies will be affected by that, but you also got to remember their equipment, AMD, for instance, this is Taiwan Semiconductors along with NVIDIA. They get these things made in Taiwan. Some of these equipment pieces come from Hong Kong. I don't know if this Holding Foreign Companies Accountability Act is going to affect the rest of the tech market. The rest of the tech market could literally be hit in ways that you can't anticipate. All of this stuff is made in China. So now here you go with this loser president who decides that on his way out, he's going to make sure he signs into law this Holding Foreign Companies Accountability, whatever. It's stupid trade war nonsense that cost you your job. Good for you. So Tesla is supposed to join the S&P. Supposedly, usually when a company joins the S&P, supposedly I think there's like usually a fall because there's usually a sell-off. But it says Tesla is set to enter the S&P 500 Monday, representing the largest stock ever to join the index, both by rank and by absolute market capitalization, and ripple effects are going to be almost unimaginably huge. Elon Musk makes fun of people who short sell the stock. So if you're one of these people who's afraid and you're not sure what's going to happen, if you short sell and you're wrong, this guy is going to be making fun of you because you know what this guy does? This guy is a troll and he's being financed by government. What Elon Musk, as far as I'm concerned, he's the face of corporate welfare. So this guy comes out and makes a pair of red boxer shorts called Tesla short shorts in order to make fun of you, if you shorted the stock. Now, these things are $115. So you can tell this guy is a super troll, right? What the hell? This guy is a troll. So, God forbid you sell that stock and you're wrong. This guy is going to be laughing at you and making fun of you with his red Tesla panties. This guy is going to be making fun of you. I tell you, this guy is the face of corporate welfare. PayPal Mafia, corporate welfare, SpaceX, corporate welfare. I can't believe if the government handed me billions of dollars in subsidies, I could have gotten us to Mars too. So don't try to make it like you're the smart guy. You can't even make an interior worth of shit on an electric car. Your interiors suck. The inside of those cars are bland and hard and uncomfortable. I think even Ford's going to do better with the interior of that new Mustang. I'm very disappointed. Where is it? What is it? The Mustang EV, right? Yeah, Jesus Christ. Your interiors suck. You should have bought your seats from Mercedes. It's disgusting. But this guy, the face of corporate welfare, if the government handed me several $billion, I could have gotten us to the moon too. It's like just because you didn't give it to NASA doesn't mean you're smarter than everybody else. Don't even play that game with me. But anyway, if you make the mistake of short selling and you're wrong, he's going to be making fun of you. And that's just it. But honestly, I think Ford really should teach Tesla a lesson about interiors. And you gotta, it's funny. You remember all those people who kept making all these wrong predictions? They kept saying Apple was going to buy Tesla and Apple was going to build cars. None of that stuff came true. None of that stuff came true. It's like you've got a lot of these speculators who are speculating, and they're just speculating, and they're just basing it on nothing. It's incredible. It's like they just talk 24/7 a day, and their speculations are based on absolutely nothing. I find it absolutely it's just amazing. Just amazing. You know, so we don't know where any of this is going, but I just wanted to remind you that this Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act has been passed. And I don't know what you trade in overseas stock, but anything that you have that's even closely related to China is about to be infected. So just double check your portfolio and see what you're going to do about it.